Hi, everyone. Welcome. We'll give everyone just a minute to go ahead and get connected before we start. All right, good morning. Welcome to today's webinar titled Healthy Body, Healthy Mind for the Holidays, hosted by the Anita Bloom Women Veterans Health Committee. My name is Marissa, and I'll be your moderator today. Before we start, I want to cover a few housekeeping items. As a webinar attendee, you'll notice that you're muted. If you have any questions, please use the Q&A box, and we will answer your questions at the end of each speaker's presentation. If you have any comments or technical issues, please use the chat box to let me know. Today's session will be recorded and available to watch on demand, and the recording link and now I'll hand it over to Sarah Abebe, PVA's Associate Director of Medical Services, to introduce our first speaker. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sarah Abebe. I'm the Associate Director of Medical Services with Paralyzed Veterans of America, and I'm also an avid healthy nutrition and yoga lover. Some of you may know me from the nutrition and yoga class that Audrey holds regularly with PVA. As you know, today's first portion of the session involves a healthy holiday cooking class, followed by a guided meditation and yoga session led by Audrey Lee. Audrey Lee is a yoga instructor and a sports nutrition coach whose mission is to inspire people to eat real, mostly vegetables, fruits, and whole grains. So with that, I hope you are excited about today's webinar. As Marissa said, for any questions you have in regards to the cooking session, please input them in the Q&A box. And at the end of the session, I will assist Audrey in attending to all of them. So without further ado, I present you Audrey Lee. Audrey, take it away.
Thank you so much for that introduction, and thank you for hosting this wonderful webinar to help us stay healthy through the holidays. So mine is 5 tips. I'm going to give you 5 tips for a healthy body and healthy mind, and then go right into our recipes. So number 1, take the best care of yourself that you can. Instead of putting things on hold, remember to keep putting yourself first. Perform some form of physical activity every day, walking, rolling. Eat and drink regularly instead of starving yourself for the big meal. Be selective in what you eat and drink, meaning try a little bit. If it doesn't taste great, stop. Don't have to have any more. Moderate the alcohol that you consume, because alcohol has more calories than carbohydrates and protein. So alternate if you are imbibing, and enjoy yourself. Enjoy the party, enjoy the meal, be fully present, and we'll talk more about that, being present and aware in yoga. Enjoy yourself, and then get back on track. And so I have 2 recipes, and these will be included in the slides that you receive. First is a pumpkin bread. So I was thinking, what can I do for the holidays? Some healthy options for yourselves and for your families. We'll be celebrating the holidays a little bit differently this year. Maybe not as many large gatherings. Well, not maybe, definitely not as many large gatherings. And so some people have said, we don't want to make too much because it's going to be sitting around in the house, then you will be eating it. So first is a pumpkin bread, because it's something sweet and it's healthy. So I wanted to show, here's my show and tell. I made a fresh one for everybody. And the other recipe is a veggie platter with hummus. So let's start with the pumpkin bread. Have a little show and tell. So the first ingredient, or let me explain this pumpkin bread. This pumpkin bread is a vegan, gluten-free pumpkin bread. it was my goal to experiment with recipes to make sure that it's something that is delicious, but then it's also healthy. A lot of times we think healthy food is bland, it doesn't have any flavor. I wanted to make sure that this one had a lot of flavor. So gluten-free, I used oat flour. The first ingredient is oat flour. You don't have to go to the super extra different aisles or Whole Foods or any other exotic, extravagant supermarkets. I am not sponsored by Quaker Oats, but I happen to have this. And this is what I used. I used oats, and I have a coffee grinder, and I put the oats into the coffee grinder and made that into flour. And so that's how we're able to have a gluten-free flour easily. You can find this anywhere, any type of oats, and you put them into a grinder and grind them up instead of using flour. Okay, the second is maple syrup. Maple syrup instead of sugar. It's a more natural source. And whenever I take any sweet recipes, I always do about half of the sugar and taste it. I want to make sure that it has flavor. There's baking powder, baking soda, kept those perfectly the same, exactly the same. Next is pumpkin pie spice. We're in the holiday season. Pumpkin spice is used more often. And I wanted to break down what that is, again, with the show and tell. It's ginger, it's nutmeg, it's cloves, it's allspice, and it's cinnamon. Those are the spices that make a pumpkin pie spice. What's so amazing about these spices is that they give the recipe, they give this pumpkin bread a lot of flavor, and they are high in antioxidants and anti-inflammatories. So ginger especially is great for digestion. Nutmeg, the nutmeg and the cloves are two of the highest herbs and spices, highest in antioxidants. So it's an easy way to get in your antioxidants. So I put 1 teaspoon of the ginger, I put 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and then I put half a teaspoon of all of these others into the recipe. Then there's a pinch of mineral salt. There's vanilla extract, water. Some people expressed concern about calories and calorie intake. Where you get the majority of your calories in a baked dish is going to be the fat that is used, so oils, and the maple syrup or the sweetener, that's where I was trying to cut some corners of things. The liquid for this is a plant-based milk or water. And so I experimented with both. And again, for those that are concerned about calories, that would be where you can eliminate some of the calories by just using water. So that's what I put in the recipe itself. So when you get this, you can make a note for yourself. If you prefer a little bit more creaminess or a little more flavor, you would use the plant-based milk. Next is sunflower seed oil, because you need a little bit of oil. Well, you need a little bit of oil for the pumpkin. The pumpkin, this is an empty can because they use the pumpkin, but the pumpkin is rich in vitamin A, which is an antioxidant. It's also rich in beta carotene and lutein, which are nutrients for your eyes. These nutrients, however, are fat soluble. So when you put some fats into them, the sunflower seed oil, those nutrients will be released more easily and your body can digest them more readily. So there is some fat, I just reduced it. I used 2 tablespoons of sunflower seed oil. The recipe called for 1/3 of a cup. I was gonna do another show and tell, like, just think like this little portion versus 1/3 of a cup. That's a big difference, that's a big difference. Okay, and lastly, the last ingredient is the pumpkin pie puree. So look for, doesn't matter what brand, look for 100% pure pumpkin and reading of labels. This is the first thing will catch your eye. Okay, 100% pure pumpkin, no preservatives. Look on the nutrition facts. You can see what's there and look at the ingredients. This one says pumpkin, that's it. That's all that you want, that's all that you need. Super easy. Preheat the oven to 350 degrees. I didn't lightly grease the loaf pan. Another way to reduce calories, I use parchment paper. So you don't have to put any oil or grease or spray. Put the parchment paper in there and then it doesn't stick. And it's also fantastic because cleanup is super easy. You simply remove the bread out of the pan. There's a little bit of liquid in here. I'm just gonna pour this out, but other than that, the pan is clean. And parchment paper, I need to put this on a plate, but you put that on a plate, slice it up, easy, easy, easy. Yeah, so you just put everything into a big bowl, mix it up, pour the batter into the parchment lined pan loaf, place it into the oven and bake for approximately 55 minutes. At the 55-minute marker, use a fork or use a knife and place it into the center or in the thickest portion of your loaf. And when the fork or the knife come out clean, you know that it's ready. Remove it from the oven, allow it to cool before you serve. And you can serve this with berries, you can serve it with a coconut yogurt. Of course, I'm focused on all of the plant-based options for things, but it's something delicious. It has some flavor, but it's not ultra sweet. And this will last for a while. The serving size are 10 servings for this. So that's actually quite a lot. One of the questions was like, hey, there's a lot left over. We're only making food for 2. Or a comment. One person was like, I don't have family coming. I'm not going to family. It's just my husband and myself. This is a lot of food. And I don't want to have that temptation. So treat yourself to a piece or 2, and you can freeze this. You can also store it away, pre-package it, put it into Ziploc baggies, or you could put it into wax paper, and you can use it as a snack. If you live where I live in Park City, Utah, where it's ski season, you can bring a piece and put it in your pocket, and it'll be a snack when you're on the lift and you need a little bit more energy to keep you going. Okay, so that is the pumpkin bread. Do we have any questions? Maybe we should focus on questions one at a time. Okay.
So far, Audrey, we don't have any questions.
Then I'll move to the grilled veggies. Okay, so we're moving to a grilled veggie platter with hummus. You can buy hummus in the store, and you can also make your own hummus. And this is what I wanted to share. And this is what I wanted to share. Okay, so I have in here the ingredients: a head of cauliflower. This is pretty much a head of cauliflower that's in here right now. 3 bell peppers sliced. These are 3 bell peppers sliced. Asparagus, unfortunately, the supermarket was out of asparagus, so I alternated and I used zucchini. These are suggestions of vegetables. These recipes I chose to encourage you and to encourage anybody else that will be in your kitchen eating food, to encourage them to eat more vegetables. And so if these vegetables aren't your most favorite vegetables, you can choose other vegetables. Grilling is easy. You'll see I use that a lot, like easy. It's gotta be easy. We don't wanna be spending hours and hours of our day. We want to enjoy the day, or we want to relax during our day. Can you see the food as meat? I don't know how. How do we do that? There was something that said, can we see the food as meat? Anyway, let's continue. Okay, you can buy your own hummus or you can make your own hummus. The ingredients for the hummus are 2 cans of chickpeas. 2 cans of chickpeas if you don't want to make it yourself from scratch. That's the next level. If you want to take it to the next level, you're always welcome. I put 1/3 of a cup of pumpkin puree, so we're staying on this pumpkin theme so that you have even more of those nutrients in your hummus. 1 lemon peeled. I put 5 garlic cloves. That is dependent on your garlic preference. Can you lower your camera? Oh, is that better? I need to put this like on a whole. Can you see? Yeah, so the hummus ingredients. Yay, okay, good. Hummus ingredients: 2 cans of chickpeas for easy recipe. 1/3 of a cup of the pumpkin puree. So if you're making the pumpkin bread and the hummus, remove 1/3 of a cup to use for the hummus, make your pumpkin bread, and then you're not using, you don't have to open up another can. The 5 cloves of garlic that I was saying is coming down lower. If you like a little sharper, spicier flavor, use 5. If you like even more, you can put more. If you like less, use less. I have 1.5 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. That is with the intention, half, or that half tablespoon is to grease the pan. But if you already have a greased pan, you don't have to. That will reduce calories if that is concern to you. You can again do the parchment paper, or you can also do, I had to turn off the chat. You can do the parchment paper, or you can do aluminum foil. Slice up your vegetables. Sometimes I chop up the cauliflower so they're little pieces. I've started kind of doing they're called the cauliflower steaks, just a big chunk. I mean, this is literally a chunk of the head. I mean, you can even see the leaves. I just put it like that right into the oven. Water, 1/3 cup of water, and then salt and pepper. If you have a high-speed, high-power blender, put all of these ingredients into the blender, you press the button and it takes care of itself. If you have a food processor, you can use a food processor, and it's super easy. Ta-da. Okay, so the difference is the fat content when you make it yourself. So here, it's 1 tablespoon of fat for 2 cups of chickpeas, so that the serving size is about 1/3 cup versus the serving size in a store-bought hummus is 2 tablespoons. So it's more quantity of food with lower calories. You can have as many of the vegetables as you like. There was also I received an email prior to our webinar, and again, it was about the lower calories. How can you eat without being hungry? Focus on vegetables, lots and lots of vegetables. So there's one slide of a comparison. 1 slice of bread, 2 slices of bread are equivalent to 5 cups of broccoli. Okay, so that's about 150 calories. It's also equivalent to 2 slices of bread are equivalent to pretty much this whole entire platter of food. And so I think this platter could be at least 2 meals, if not 3, versus 2 slices of bread are only going to get you so far. You're going to be hungry afterwards. What you would do then is have maybe 2 slices of bread by themselves with some of this. But that's another, we'll see if there are questions about that. Yeah.
Audrey, there is a question in reference to the pumpkin pie bread. So an attendee asked, they use grapeseed oil, and how do you feel about that?
Grapeseed oil is fabulous. Grapeseed oil is fantastic. What you want to think about with your oils, like the oils are quite similar in caloric content. Consider the flavor. You want to enjoy yourself. You want to enjoy your pumpkin bread. Grapeseed oil is an excellent option. I just happen to have sunflower seed oil in my house, so that's how I created the recipe. Grapeseed flowers. Grapeseed oil is excellent. Let's see.
Yes, another question that came up is, can you use sugar-free maple syrup for the pumpkin bread, or only real maple syrup?
You can absolutely use the sugar-free maple syrup. In one of our talks, this is with the nutrition class that we've been having throughout this season, is sugar-free means it's going to be lower in calories, but typically the sugar-free is using synthetic products that your brain will process as sweetness. The sugar-free is usually so concentrated in sweetness that the brain wants that sweetness. And so if you've ever had those cravings and you have a sugar-free something, that craving is not always filled with one little portion. Have we ever had that experience before? And so the brain wants that degree of sweetness, and it will drive you to crave more until it actually gets that amount of sweetness. And so that's why I'm recommending trying out. This already is half of the sugar content in a recipe that I found, and then changing it from a refined sugar to 100% pure. It's also an organic maple syrup. So those things make a difference. Does that answer the question? Does that make sense? Nutrition is challenging. I try to make it as easy as possible, but it's different. Our bodies react differently. And again, that sugar, the sugar sensation relays into your brain, and the brain is the control center for all of things. I want to talk a little bit about those 5 points. Are there any other questions? Does that answer the question? I'm just looking at the chat. Would honey work well? Absolutely, absolutely. So whatever sweeteners you would like to use, please do. I'm giving you permission, and you don't need my permission at all, but I'm giving you permission to take any recipe that you see out in the whole wide world on the www and adjust it for yourself. These are some tools that will help you to stay healthy throughout the holidays and beyond, so that you look, if someone has gluten intolerance, can you bake the pumpkin bread? Let me just finish this. So if anybody has gluten intolerance, anywhere that you see wheat, flour, you change it for a non-wheat flour, okay? Sugar, sweeteners, whatever sweeteners are there, you change it for what you prefer. Same thing with spices. If you like a lot of spice and flavor, put in more than what's there. See with this, there's nothing raw in here. There are no eggs. So you can taste this, and as you're making your batter, taste it. Does it taste good? It's an indication before it's baked of what it's going to taste like. You can add more, you can add less. You can keep experimenting. I've been experimenting with pumpkin bread since November, so I think this is now my 7th pumpkin bread, and each time I do a slight variation, then I make a little note or maybe a mental note to myself so I can remember what I did and what I liked and what other variations I want to try with this. Let's see. Other things. So the water, as I was saying, water, the liquid, it can be a plant-based milk. If you're a dairy person, you can do dairy, but I was trying to focus on healthy, non-inflammatory ingredients, which will help promote optimal health for your body and your mind. So this is a little bit of an aside, but foods that are inflammatory or are not the best health choice. And foods also affect our mood. So we may not be aware, but when we're not in a good mood or we're depressed, yes, we are in the middle of a pandemic and a lot of other things are going on, but your food choices can also help you to be a little bit more uplifted, a little bit more optimistic. And so that's something that I will share with all of you in future nutrition classes. We're going to be continuing. We'll share about this later. Let's see. The last one with the pumpkin puree, what I wanted to share as well. Yes, okay, that's a good one. Someone had asked, can you bake the pumpkin bread in 2 pans? If so, what size? So you absolutely can bake it in 2. This is, I believe it's a standard size. What does this say? 249? I'm not sure. That is a really good question. Pay attention to the pans that you are using, because for Thanksgiving, I had a flop. I thought like, ooh, I spent all this time gonna make this awesome pumpkin bread because I experimented, and I used a different pan on Thanksgiving, and it was a glass pan that was narrower. And so instead of this long, I saw this before, but I'll lift this up again. See how long, like this is a long pumpkin bread, and it's fairly thin. It's about 1.5 inches thick. So it went from this pan like this to a pan that was about this size, so that the dough, the batter was a lot more concentrated. It took longer to bake. It was the exact same amount of dough, but just smushed into a smaller piece. Every time I kept putting that fork in, it came out sticking to the fork. And so if you put it into 2, I'm not really sure. I'll have to find out on the size of that, but the equivalent of 2 small of these. Let's see. Are there any other questions? And then the other point that I wanted to make, the last ingredient with the pumpkin puree. So you can do a canned pumpkin, you can do fresh pumpkin, you can do butternut squash, and another, which I haven't had the opportunity to try yet, is sweet potatoes. A friend of mine was telling me, like, you gotta try it with sweet potatoes. Have you all had sweet potatoes before? I'm assuming so. Sweet potatoes are sweet. It's part of the name. Sweet potatoes, they are naturally sweet. And so you can buy sweet potato puree in a can already. Same thing. Look on the ingredients. It should say sweet potatoes. It shouldn't say anything else. Shouldn't have any sweeteners, preservatives. That's one way. That's super easy way. Or an alternative, which is as easy, is take sweet potatoes. And I actually happen to have some. Let's see. Just an example. Sweet potato. You can bake the sweet potato. This is my plan. Once I have the time, I'm going to bake the sweet potatoes. I like to bake sweet potatoes, so you wash them. I leave the skin on them because they're higher in fiber when they have the skin, and I'm also trying to be more conscious of not wasting as much. Puncture, you can take a knife so that it bakes thoroughly through. And I place them into a pan. I don't put any oil or anything like that. I usually bake like 5 at a time. Put them in the oven. I bake them for about 45 minutes. I let them bake until wherever you've punctured, the moisture comes out of the baked potato and it oozes, and then it starts to brown. The natural sugars that are in the sweet potatoes caramelize. So when you bake them, I've learned you don't need any sugar or sweetener. I've been eating this way for quite a number of years. So my palate, my tongue, and my taste buds have become a lot more sensitive to things. And so I believe that when I use the sweet potatoes in this recipe, I won't use any of the maple syrup at all because I think it'll be extra sweet. So this is a project and I'm announcing it live and it's recorded that I will work on, and I will place that information to share. It looks like there are some more questions, so let's take a look. I never know what sweet potato was until, so yeah, yams and sweet potatoes. You can also use yams. They're quite similar. Can we get a printed recipe of, you will all be receiving the slides that have every single recipe that I have been talking about. Are there any other questions about any?
There is
Yes.
a question stating, is there a place to get the pumpkin bread? But I believe they mean the pumpkin spice.
The pumpkin spice? You can buy pumpkin spice in any supermarket. Go to your spice section and it will say pumpkin spice. But yeah, you can buy it, so it's already pre-made. You can make your own, like I said. It's a mixture of cloves, nutmeg, ginger, cinnamon, and if you like allspice, you can also put allspice in there. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I wanted to, we have a little bit more time. I wanted to talk about this a little bit more. So these 2 recipes are sample recipes of plant meals and snacks that you can begin having during your holidays and afterwards into the new year to help you be healthy, mind and body, not just for the holidays, but beyond the holidays. Holiday season is here. Temptations are there. Different foods. I think it's important to treat yourself and to enjoy what you are having. I like to use, and I like to be conscious of the words, treat versus cheat. Treat versus cheat. There is a big difference there. There is a different energy in the different words. When you treat yourself, to me, that's positive. I'm going to treat myself. Or when you treat someone, isn't it nice when you do that? Like, let me treat you to this meal. I want to treat you to a lovely, healthy, home-cooked meal that I made from my heart with love. That's totally different than I've been eating really well and I'm going to cheat, which is, to me, there's a negative connotation to that. Treat yourself to something really good. And so in your slide, you'll see, be selective in what this is. Treat yourself to something amazing. I usually use these 2 examples because these are quite common. Some people love steak. So if you're going to have some steak for the holidays, make it the most amazing slice, or whatever meat. If you're going to have meat, I'm not a meat eater, but what I've learned is that there is a difference in the quality. There's a difference in quality of all of the things that we're eating, right? And so if you can, say with meat, grass-fed, free-range, organic, or wild-caught things, and thoroughly enjoy, meaning be present to the meal. Sit and take your time eating. Chew your food slowly, savor every bite. Have you ever had one of those meals, or if you're a really expressive person, you eat the food, or maybe you especially see this with children. They have something and then they just, their whole face lights up. They make noise. I'm one of those people because I love to cook because I love to eat. I'm also an athlete and a coach. I eat a lot of food. And so if I'm going to be eating food, I want it to nourish my body and I want it to be delicious. I want it to be delicious. Take your time. Savor what you're eating. Savor every bite. Take your time chewing your food, thoroughly chew your food. Another reason why you want to take your time while you're eating during the holidays, during the holidays, is because it takes your brain approximately 20 minutes to register satiety. Satiety is another way to say satisfaction. Satisfaction. So if it takes you about 20 minutes for the brain to say, Audrey, I am satisfied with this meal. I don't need any more. I don't want any more. I'm comfortable. 20 minutes. If you're one of those people that are eating quickly, scarfing something down, you will be taking in more than you need in that 15 minutes, 20 minutes, because your brain won't have the opportunity to register that it's getting in that food. Does that make sense to everyone? And I think that also will help you to savor, to thoroughly enjoy, to be present. And for people that are concerned about overeating or overindulging, when you take your time, when you slow down, you'll also register the fact you'll be there, you'll be present, like, okay, I'm eating. I've served myself this plate of whatever. I'm gonna take my time and slowly eat this. You might even notice that the amount that you serve for yourself is more than enough when you slow down. So that's another tip that I wanted to share. Pause between your next bite. Pause before you go on to serve yourself again. You can pause. You can pause with everything. After this cooking class, we're moving into yoga and I will talk about that, but take a breath. Take a breath between bites. Take a breath or two before you get up to serve yourself another plate. Or what's most common during the holidays, can I get you some more? Can I serve you some more? It's not impolite to say, not right now, thank you. I'm gonna take a break, one moment. That's okay. It's totally okay. And I believe that it will be respected when you see it in that way. Any questions about any of this? This, I feel, is straightforward. My last tip that I want to share is to get back on track. So say, for example, during the holidays or anytime, it might be a meal, it might be a snack or something where you overindulge. You take in a little bit more than you will normally do. That's okay. Go into the holidays, go into all of your days now until we get back to our routine again as an opportunity to learn and to see. If you do overindulge, if you have a little bit more than you want, than you need, don't beat yourself up. Don't punish yourself. Acknowledge that and move on. Let it go. It was that meal. Your next meal or the next day is your chance to start anew, to get back on track. So whatever your next meal is, eat clean for your next meal. Choose colorful vegetables, fruits, lean protein, and healthy fat. My role or my goal is to inspire people to eat real food, meaning food in its most natural form. I'll do this again so we can look and see, like, it should be beautiful. It should be amazing, these presentations. So I try to make presentations so that it is an experience that you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait till the holidays to have an amazing experience. I'd like to share something with all of you. So I was a coach for Paralyzed Veterans of America Racing, the hand cycling group. And I also cooked for the group. There was one of the training camps, one of the high performance training camps, that I made the food, and you could have it just in bowls. Okay, my job was to not only make food, but my job was to make healthy food for the athletes and get them to try healthier options, which is a challenge with anybody at all. We're used to eating things that we eat. Some people are very close-minded. Nope, I don't eat that. I don't like that. But when you present it in a way where, you know, it's festive, it's colorful, it looks appetizing, like, this looks great. A temptation, right? Instead, then it's a temptation for them, like, ooh, you know what? That looks so good that I'm actually tempted to eat some of that. Come back to eating clean for your meal. Drink plenty of water throughout your day and get in another session of physical activity. And so I have physical activity, or I'm using the term physical activity instead of exercise, because sometimes even exercise could be a little intimidating for people. Like, oh, I haven't exercised in forever. That's okay. Let's go for a walk. Let's go for a stroll. You can roll in your chair, or you can do some yoga exercises. You can do some deep breathing exercises. I will be leading you all through an introduction to yoga, and I'm making it easy. And not just easy, meaning the poses. Poses are completely open to everyone. I'll show you adaptations as well and adjustments, but movement, some form of movement. Move the arms, move them up, move them down. You can swing them around if you like to dance, right? And so some people don't think that dance is exercise. It's physical activity. If you're a dancer, go ahead and dance. You can dance 5 minutes, you could dance 10 minutes. If you have family, you can use this as dance time, we time. If you have we dance, that's pretty fun. You can also, I have here, you can do relay races or tag. There are other ways, so you don't have to be in a formal setting. So I'll reiterate, or I'll just repeat these 5 tips to stay healthy, body and mind, for the holidays and beyond. Perform some form of physical activity. And preferably, it's something that you enjoy doing, because when you enjoy it and you feel good, you will continue to do more. Eat and drink regularly throughout the day instead of starving for that big meal. So maybe on you're meeting family, smaller group, and you know that there's going to be a big spread. Typically, people starve themselves. And the example that I use, Thanksgiving, people ate breakfast and they starved themselves the whole rest of the day in anticipation for this big, huge meal. The group that I met with for Thanksgiving, we met at 7 o'clock. The turkey wasn't even done yet. The turkey hadn't even been put into the oven. And so there were some people that were ready to eat at that time. They were expecting to eat at that time. They had to wait 2 more hours. And so in that 2 hours of time, they were famished. They ate all of the appetizers. And when the turkey came, they ate that too. And when it was finished, they went from starving to absolutely stuffed to the gills. Long story short is, eat a little bit, eat regularly throughout the day instead of starving, so that when you come to the big meal time, you are not starving and you can make more conscious choices about what you are eating. That's really big. Drink plenty of water throughout your day, and especially if you are having alcohol. Alcohol dehydrates your body. It dehydrates especially the brain. So remember to drink your water or herbal teas or anything like that, so that your body stays hydrated. And especially so the next day you don't wake up with a splitting headache. So think about that. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. So food is not the only way to enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself by having that downtime. Enjoy yourself by spending time with your loved ones in a calm, relaxed setting. And then the next day or the next meal is your chance to do differently. So I don't want to say better, worse, but your next meal or your next day is a new chance to choose healthier. Any questions about any of these points? I'm just looking in the chat.
I don't see any questions. We have about 5 minutes left for this session.
Great. So if there are any other questions, if there are any questions regarding pumpkin bread, sweet potatoes, baked bread, grilled vegetables, I'm going to just keep saying grilled vegetables. I love grilling. Grilling is so easy. If you have a grill, so let's talk about a grill. If you have a barbecue grill that you grill on, you can use that. And that works even in the winter. You can go outside. If you have a grill in the oven, what I have on there. So I have baking and have a broiler. So if you have a broiler, that's what you can broil your food. You can even broil sweet potatoes. I didn't have the opportunity to do that, but Now that it's cold, it's winter where I live, I broil a lot. I pretty much broil everything. I mean, what can you not broil? So cauliflower, broccoli, bell peppers, you can broil carrots, you can broil potatoes, you can broil sweet potatoes. I tried the yuca before, and I still need to work on my yuca recipes. You can broil tomatoes. Tomatoes they're wonderful. Zucchini, I absolutely love zucchini broiled. You can do squash, you can do butternut squash, acorn squash, spaghetti squash. Spaghetti squash, I would bake and then I would broil at the end if you're doing that. But all the things that you could do in the oven are easy ways to help you eat more vegetables. Let's see what other things you can, but that, you get the point of what I'm trying to make, right? Of vegetables that you can broil, pretty much all vegetables. Pay attention, I broil them on high, and I usually set a timer for 11 minutes. I set the timer because there have been plenty of times when I've been cooking food and I end up burning it because I'm doing something else. Because I think, oh, 11 minutes, I'll be there. But then I'm moving around the house or doing something else, and then they get burned. You can also broil tortillas, tortilla chips. Pay attention, because I made a dish like this and I made some chips. I didn't have tortilla chips, so I took tortillas and I cut them into 6s or 8s and I placed them onto a platter, and it only needed a few minutes, but they ended up being burned. So I had to do that 2 more rounds before I could serve it. Use the timer. Timer is really helpful so that you don't overdo things and then end up throwing it away. Or if you are having family to a big meal, they don't come into a kitchen that is filled with smoke. I talk from experience, and you learn from these experiences. So if there are no other questions, I thank you all for your attention. You will get all of these slides. You will get them as a PDF, and you can try them out, and I encourage you to try them out. Try them out, especially when you have time, when you're relaxed, so you don't feel rushed. Maybe you can even include your family in choosing their favorite vegetables so they are a part of this, and enjoy.
Audrey, there are no questions or comments, so whenever you're ready, we can move on to the next session.
Okay, I'm going to take you through my home. We're going to walk to the yoga area. What I want to share with all of you is that you don't need anything special to do yoga. I like to think too, when yoga was originally done, they didn't have fancy yoga mats. They didn't have fancy yoga clothes. They did yoga outside, standing on the earth, in the grass, connected with the soil. Yoga is a fantastic way to stay healthy, mind and body, during the holidays and beyond. Yoga is union. Union, we are uniting our mind with our body. So let's begin. Find a comfortable seated position. Get comfortable in your chair. So if you have a cushion, you can place a cushion behind your back. And adjusting here. Place your hands onto your thighs or in your lap. And gently close your eyes. Begin breathing deeply in through your nose and out through your mouth if it's comfortable. And you can make noise with this. Inhaling, filling the body with air, with oxygen. And as you open your mouth, exhale and release. We begin our yoga practice in stillness, focusing on our breath, becoming more in tune with our breath as we inhale and as we exhale. This breath, this is an audible breath, meaning you can hear yourself breathe. It's called the ocean breath. Imagine, so ocean, like you are waves of breath as you inhale and as you exhale. With each inhale, imagine waves building energy, building in their height as we fill with air and oxygen in our body. And as you exhale, like waves crashing, we are releasing that breath and releasing what does not serve us. So that's a term that's used quite often in yoga. Release what is no longer serving you. That can be stress, tension, tightness. It can be emotions and feelings that we've been holding on to that have been stuck inside of us. This is an opportunity to release anxiety, release fear, release discomfort, dis-ease with each exhale. Continuing with our breath. Let's take 3 more of these deep, full, long breaths. Hear yourself as you inhale. And as you exhale, 1 more breath. This breath now. Maintain this breath and use this breath as your guide as we begin to move through our yoga practice. We're sitting tall, the eyes can float open. We're going to move through a prayer flow. Inhale, your arms lift out to your sides, they lift up to the sky or however high as your arms allow yourself to move. You bring the palms of your hands together, and as you exhale, bring the palms down to your heart center. Again, inhale, open, and lift your arms, reaching up tall as you lengthen your spine. And with your exhale, relaxing while you sit up tall and lower your arms down. And once more, inhale, arms open, they lift and they reach. With your exhale, hands, arms lower to your heart center. We're going to move through a sun salutation. It's a very classic sequence of yoga poses in yoga practice to salute the sun, to salute and to be grateful for a new day. I'm grateful for each and every one of you joining to practice. I'm grateful for this opportunity. Let's inhale those arms out, lift and reach. And as we exhale, you're coming into a forward fold. Place your hands or forearms onto your thighs and you're hinging from your hips, taking a slight bend, and you're continuing to breathe that full, long breath here. Relaxing into this forward fold. And you may or may not see, you can see my hair, I'm rocking from side to side. If I move back a little bit. So I'm in my forward fold and I'm rocking, and this is an option. I'm encouraging you to move in any way that your body is asking you to move. If you want to rock or if you want to lean a little bit, you're starting to get into your lower back and starting to get into the shoulders. And now with your breath, slowly roll your body up to a seat and sit up tall. We're going to keep adding movements to this. Still breathing, that ocean breath, long, full, and deep. Take that breath, inhale, and reach up to the sky. Bring the palms of your hands together and lower down to your heart center. Inhale, open, lift, and reach. And as you exhale, place your hands or your forearms onto your thighs. Come into your forward fold. Take a breath in and take a breath out. And as you take your next breath, you're going to consciously roll your body up 1 vertebrae at a time. Starting with your tailbone, tuck it under, moving from your lower back to the middle of your back to your upper back, and you're realigning your vertebrae, realigning your spine, get up nice and tall. Head is in alignment with the rest of the spine. From here, inhale your arms out and up. And on your exhale, you're coming into a twist. You're twisting your body to the side. So imagine that you are long through your spine, and then from there, give your body a turn. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. As you inhale, bring yourself to center. Open the arms, lift them up to the sky. And as you exhale, you're twisting your body in the opposite direction now. Keep lifting and lengthening through your spine as you move in the opposite direction. I'll move this slightly. You can place, I guess you can't really see, you can place your hands onto your thighs. If you're sitting in a chair, you can place your arm or your hand onto the chair, and you're using your hands to give you support if needed, and you're twisting. And with the breath, release out of the twist, coming to center, and we're going to move through a cat and a cow. So for those of you that have pets, especially cats or dogs, you will see this movement often. With our breath, we inhale, open up the chest. We're opening our chest, we're opening our heart, we're opening our throat. The head can roll back if it is comfortable for you. And as you exhale, we're rounding. Chin comes towards the chest, the shoulders round forward, your hips tuck. And let's continue now. So that was a little explanation, slow, and now start moving for yourself. You're moving through your spine from the top all the way down to the bottom. Continue arching and rounding through your spine. And continue breathing, inhaling and exhaling. And as you continue to breathe deeply and as you continue to arch and round, I wanted to share a quote with you. The nature of yoga is to shine the light of awareness into the darkest corners of your body. When we shine that awareness, we can create the right environment to allow the body to do what it's designed to do, to heal, to grow, to create, and to thrive. So from here, let us roll ourselves back up, coming to a tall, upright seat. Relax the shoulders, lift up tall, and then we'll take a counter pose. A counter pose is anything that allows you to counter the pose that was just done, or a simpler way is, it's like a little break for you to move your body in any way that allows you to feel more comfortable after what you did. If you happen to have water nearby you, this is also a chance to drink some water if you need, if you would like. So counter pose for me, I like to rock a little bit. Sometimes I like to roll my shoulders or move my head. And we're going to keep moving through with our practice. Let's sit up tall now. And we're shining the light of awareness into our body. So we might be moving in some areas that we haven't moved in a while, and that's good. That's what we want. With the breath, let's inhale. The arms come out to your side, reach up to the sky. With your exhale, palms of the hands come together, hands lower to your heart center. With the breath, inhale, reach your arms out, reach them up. On your exhale, come into that forward fold. You're hinging your body from your hips. You can rest on your thighs. And I'm just looking forward so that you have something to look at other than the top of my head. You're going to arch and round through your spine as you move through your cat and your cow. And then with the breath, roll your body up. We're coming into a spinal twist. So we're moving in all of the different ways that our body is designed to move. Twisting the opposite direction. And let's take one more. Twist towards your left. And now twist towards your right. I'm going to add another movement. This is a body circle. We're coming to center. We're linking these movements now. So we're bringing our chest forward. Then we're bringing our chest to the side. We bring our chest back. And then we bring it to the other side. So those were 4 points. Now smooth out that movement. You're circling your body. Feel free to close your eyes as you circle your body forward, side, back, and side. And connect your breath with your movement. You're inhaling for a portion of the circle, and you're exhaling for the other portion of the circle. Let's finish this circle. Come back to center, realign your spine, sit up tall, take a deep breath in and deep breath out. And now let's circle in the opposite direction. As before, beginning slowly, the chest comes forward, you move to the side, you move back, and then you move to the other side. Smoothing out this movement, smoothing out your circles. As you breathe deeply in and out, can you make your circles a little bit larger? Can you make your circles feel amazing in your body? Adjust for yourself. This is shining the light of awareness. There are all different ways that the body can move. Maybe you're moving in a way and then you feel like, oh, I feel a little something here. Adjust. You can make your movements larger if they feel comfortable. If they don't feel comfortable, make them smaller. Make them very controlled and small. Take one more circle for yourself as you breathe in and as you breathe out. And bring yourself to center. Come to a nice, tall, upright seat. And take any counter poses. You pause for a moment and notice how you're feeling. Notice if you're feeling any tightness anywhere, and if you are, or anything that you're feeling, move in a way that allows you to feel some release, that allows you to feel a little bit more comfortable. Take one more deep breath in, and deep breath out, and come to center. Sit up nice and tall. We'll move into our shoulders. The shoulders carry a lot of tension. They carry the weight of the world on our shoulders. Let's use this opportunity now to release the shoulders. We're going to do that by shrugging. We're sitting tall. We are lengthening our spine. We're continuing to breathe that ocean breath. Deep breaths in and out. And now we're linking our movement with that breath. As you inhale, lift the shoulders up as high as they can. And as you exhale, let them go. Let yourself relax. Once again, inhale. Lift the shoulders up as high as they can. Feel the shoulders tighten. And then as you exhale, let it all go. Let go of what no longer serves you. One more time, let's inhale the shoulders up towards the ears. Feel the lifting, feel the tightening, feel the contraction. And as you exhale, feel the release, the letting go. And now we're adding a little bit more movement. We're lifting the shoulders up as high as they can go. And now roll them back and down. These are shoulder circles. We are circling our shoulders with awareness. We're becoming really conscious of our movement. For those of you that are at home, I was going to say, if you can see yourself on the screen, maybe you only see me. You can use this as an opportunity when you're practicing for yourself at home to look in the mirror. Mirrors are there to give you feedback. Notice if your shoulders are even. Notice if you're leaning a little bit more on one side or the other side to help you, to give you some feedback so that you can adjust. Let's take one more big circle. Shoulders move up, they roll back, and they roll down, and we're going to open up the chest. There are different ways. We'll start with the cactus pose. We're bending the elbows, hands come up. This is cactus. Some people call this a goal post, whatever you prefer. Here, let's pay attention to our posture. Notice your alignment. Lengthen the spine. Your head is an extension of the spine, and now we're deepening the stretch. Draw your shoulder blades together as you draw your elbows back so we can see the difference. And continue to breathe. If it's comfortable for you, you can take the hands and close them up into fists, and then you can bring more strength and power into this. And as you stretch, you're breathing deeply, and you may notice that the head wants to tilt back. You can. If that's comfortable for you, give it a test, give it a try. How does it feel? It feels good? Good. If you want to close your eyes, go ahead and close your eyes. Deep breath in. Deep breath out, release your arms, give them a shake. Shake your hands, shake out the arms. Counter pose. This is your counter pose time. To adjust, to rock, to sway, to twist, to drink water, to do whatever you need to do. And we're going to put these movements all together once again. Sitting up tall, lengthening through your spine and aligning your whole entire spine. And head is in alignment with the spine. And with that breath, your ocean breath, let us begin our next round. Inhale, the arms move out to your sides and they reach up tall. On your exhale, the palms of the hands come together and you release. Inhale, reaching the arms up. On your exhale, you're coming into your forward fold, bending at the hips and taking any adjustments in this forward fold that your body is asking for. Breathing deeply in and out. And take one more deep breath in, deep breath out. Slowly roll yourself up. Inhale your arms out, reach up to the sky. On your exhale, come into your forward fold. I mean, come into your cat and cow. You're placing your hands onto your thighs and you're moving. You're arching and you're rounding through your spine. As you inhale, the head lifts, the throat opens, the chest opens, your shoulder blades drop back. And then as you exhale, moving in the opposite direction, your hips, your pelvis tilts, your middle back moves further back, the shoulders roll forward, chin comes down to the chest. Arching and rounding through your spine. And you're using your breath, connecting your breath with your movement so that you have more a deeper connection to what you're doing. You're connecting your mind and your body. And take one more cat and cow for yourself. Opening as far as is comfortable for you, and as you exhale, rounding as far as feels good for you. And with your breath, release and come up tall. Inhale the arms up to the sky. On your exhale, coming into your twist. One arm can be front, one arm can be back. I'm looking forward so that I can see you or that you can see me. You can move your head in a different direction if it feels good for you. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inhale, bring yourself to center. Lift the arms up to the sky. And as you exhale, twisting in the opposite direction. Being conscious, being aware of what you're feeling in your body as you twist and as you breathe. One more deep breath in, deep breath out. Inhale the arms up overhead. And as you exhale, place your hands onto your thighs and we're moving into our body circles. You had an opportunity to try these out, and then each round, each repetition is another chance to shine that light of awareness, or maybe a better way to see is because you're more familiar, you can really take a little bit more or do a little bit more in this, meaning making this your own, making these movements help you feel good in your body. Let's take one more big round circle and then roll yourself up, stack the vertebrae one on top of the other, sit up tall. Let's inhale, arms come out and they reach up. And as you exhale, hands onto your thighs, begin moving into your body circles in the opposite direction. Eyes open or closed. Allowing your body to smooth out in the movements. Allowing yourself to relax into your breath, relaxing into your body. taking this state of awareness a little bit deeper or being more present to what you're feeling in your body. Noticing any sensations. So as we do these body circles, it's engaging in your neck, in your shoulders, your arms, in your chest, your back, even into your hips. That's why I love this movement. Let's take one more big round circle and then bring yourself to center. Sit up tall, realign the spine as you breathe in and out. Notice how you're feeling. This is your opportunity for any counter poses. If there's something that you need, maybe you need to readjust your seat. Maybe you need to readjust your clothes. Maybe you need to readjust your hair. I'm giving you permission, right? And you don't need permission. I am inviting you, I should say, inviting you to use this time to take care of yourself just a little bit more. Take one more deep breath in and deep breath out. We're going to move into our head, into our neck. We're sitting up tall with the breath. Inhale. We lift the spine. With the exhale, tuck your chin down to your chest. Inhale, lift. Exhale, tuck your chin. Let it roll lightly, softly, gently. Inhale as you lift, lengthen the whole entire spine. With your exhale, roll that chin down to the chest. Inhale.
Audrey, whenever you're ready, it's time to move to the meditation session.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Sitting up tall, you're going to move your head one side to the other side. And then bring yourself to center. So our meditation session / Shavasana. Getting comfortable in your seat. If you want to place a pillow behind your back, you can. If you like, you can also lay down, but stay conscious and aware. Allow yourself to be comfortable without falling asleep. You can place your hands in your thighs or in your lap. And close your eyes. So the intention, yoga was created to prepare the body and mind for meditation. We move to release any tightness or tension so energy can flow smoothly throughout the body, and so your breath can flow deeply through your body. So from here, with your hands in your lap or on your thighs, we're sitting up nice and tall. The spine is aligned, and we're going to tap into our ocean breath. This is a guided meditation. I'm going to guide you through this. So as you sit comfortably with your spine long and the shoulders relaxed, tap into your ocean breath, like waves lightly rising and falling over the ocean. Inhaling and exhaling. The breath is audible. You can hear your breath. And if you're comfortable to breathe with the mouth open on your exhale, please do. You can also exhale with the mouth closed, and you'll still hear some sound. And using the imagery of water, of waves, depending on where you live, maybe it's a lake, maybe it's a stream, maybe it is the ocean. Water, energizing yet calming. As you inhale and exhale, allow the breath, this ocean breath, to wash over your body. It flows down your forehead, releasing in your forehead, in your jaw. As you inhale and exhale deeply, relaxing your mouth, relaxing your eyes in the eye sockets. With each in-breath and out-breath, allow your breath to soothe your head, to soothe your neck, to flow down, releasing and relaxing your shoulders and your back. As you breathe deeply in and out, allow that breath to circulate in the shoulders. If there's any remaining tension in the shoulders with your breath, with your exhale, allow the shoulders to relax. Enjoying your beautiful flow of breath. And that breath is washing down your arms, down and out of your fingers. The breath flows, cleansing the chest, the heart region, your heart space. We release any remaining tension so that we have more space to open to the breath. To open to good, positive energy. To open to a little bit more calm, peace, and stillness. That breath flows down into the belly. The breath circulates and percolates in and around your hips. And allow that deep, full breath to travel and flow all the way down to your knees, all the way down to your toes and back. Continuing to breathe. With each round of breath, you're shining the light of awareness throughout your body, being aware of any sensations that you have going on in your body, in your breath. What adjustments do you need to make so that you can feel a little bit more comfortable? Maybe the sensation is in your hip and you need to move around a little bit to release. Go ahead and do that. Maybe the sensation of relaxed shoulders is percolating within you as you breathe in and out. Enjoy and savor that sensation. Being aware that stillness is within you always. Being aware that when you slow down and deepen your breath, there is a calm inside of you. We'll slowly release out of our meditation. Bring your awareness into your surroundings. Feel your connection with your chair. If you'd like to rock your body, or if you'd like to open, close your hands, or shake out your hands, please do. Let's take a stretch like we're waking up. Stretch yourself out. You can reach your arms up as high as you like. One side reaches higher than the other side. And then release those arms. Come to center. And we'll conclude our meditation with one prayer flow. We're sitting up tall. Our spine is long. And with the breath, inhale the arms out. Reach up to the sky. Bring the palms of your hands together and draw it into your heart center. I'd like to thank you all so much for joining me to practice yoga and to meditate. This is a little taste. The light in me honors the light in you all. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Audrey. This was great having you, and thanks for sharing your knowledge. I will now pass it over to Maureen.
Hi, everyone. I hope you can hear me okay. Sometimes my computer gets a little testy. So I am excited to introduce you to Amanda. I met Amanda in 2017 when I was on a Women Veteran Leadership Retreat and was absolutely enchanted by her sense of energy and her fun. She is a Navy veteran, and like most Navy veterans, she's still recovering from the beating they got at the Army-Navy football game, but it's okay, we'll still be friends. She's a classically trained chef and travel and cooking channel host. She serves as a national advocate for veterans with TBI. And she's joining us today despite the fact that she's dealing with a recent concussion on top of living with a significant traumatic brain injury. But she wanted to be here to help bring you all a little joy for the holidays. One fun fact about Amanda is that she's an avid mountaineer and has climbed 4 of the 7 world summits. So please join me in welcoming Amanda. Thank you so much.
Hi, everybody. Maureen, thank you so much for the warm welcome. I couldn't say no. I live in New York City, and it's been an interesting pandemic for me, especially considering 3 weeks ago I added a concussion to it. That being said, I haven't been imbibing very much, but I am going to make a cocktail for you today, and I'll walk you through it. And I will offer alternatives to make it a mocktail if that is what you'd prefer. I was getting a little nostalgic for social life when I was thinking up which cocktail I'd like to do for you all, but at least we're together now. So this is like a holiday party for me. So thanks for inviting me. So the cocktail that I'm gonna do today, it's called a Bourbon Maple Cider. It has both autumnal and wintry feel to it, and you can garnish it with either cayenne pepper or a cinnamon stick or both. It just depends on what your mood is. So I hope that you can see, I'll do my best to create an environment where you can see what I'm doing. And also, you don't need to use bourbon for this cocktail. You can use whiskey, you can use rye. Really all that bourbon is, it's whiskey that is made in the United States and aged in American oak. So there's really not a big differentiation there. But because we are, I think, all Americans here, let's go with bourbon. That's what I have on hand. So to start, this is going to be a recipe that makes 2 servings. To start, I'm going to have a shaker and add ice. Also, if you have questions, you can chat them, and I believe Maureen will ask them of me when I finish. Multitasking to answer questions while making cocktail might not work for me right now. So I'm just going to add ice to the shaker. And then now this again is for 2 servings. I'm going to add 3 ounces of bourbon. I have all the fancy toys that have not been getting much use the last 10 months, I tell you. So there's 2 ounces and whoop, an additional 1. Next, I am going to add 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. I am a really big fan of freshly squeezed lemon juice, which you can now buy at the store, small bottles of freshly squeezed juice. I tend to avoid the from concentrate type stuff. And I also wanted to share that this is one of my favorite items. It is a citrus press. And as opposed to, I'll show you, taking a lemon and using one of the handheld ones, it's just a little easier on the hands. As Maureen mentioned, I do have a history of brain injury and it has left me with a lot of neuropathy. So I use a lot of shortcuts in the kitchen and they come in handy. So what I'm gonna do is, typically one small lemon will have about a tablespoon of lemon juice, and there are 3 teaspoons in a tablespoon. None of that is important to remember, but I have all these fun facts in my head, might as well share them. So can you see how this just juices? It's very satisfying. So because we want 2 teaspoons of lemon juice, and this recipe is coming to you via email, so don't worry about writing down or anything like that. 1, 2. The question is, am I actually going to drink this later? I'll think about it. Okay, so next we add 1 teaspoon of maple syrup. I always say, you know, there are some things in life you can go cheap on, right? Like flip-flops or something like that. Never food and never syrup. So maple syrup for me is one of honey and maple syrup is how I get most of my sugars. And as Audrey was saying earlier, I would rather have real sources of glucose than artificial for a multitude of reasons. So, but I'm no nutritionist. I'm just here to make a cocktail. So there's 1 teaspoon of maple syrup. And then last but not least is the apple cider. And I'm doing this cold. You could also create the liquid mixture and then warm it and serve it in a mug. But today we are not doing that. So a 1/2 cup of apple. Oh, let me get rid of that lemon juice. I come from Maine, and apple orchards are a really big thing there. So apples are near and dear to my heart. All right, so we have assembled all the ingredients, and in college I worked at the Boston University pub. I was a bartender, and I don't know that I've really done this for people since then. That was 20 years ago. All right, so next I want to show you, that's a lie, I used to make drinks for Travel Channel. It was a couple of years ago. So what you can do is, now you can put this in a regular glass like this if you like. There's nothing wrong with that. But it being the holidays, I figured I would get out something a little bit fancy. I have, everything feels better in a coupe glass, if you ask me. And this is from a set that my grandmother gave me of Spanish crystal. So, and I'm not really sure what the significance of Spanish crystal is, but it sounds very special. And this is a special day, so I'm sharing it with you. So, and this is just one.
Amanda,
Here, go ahead.
a question came in. Can you substitute apple juice?
Absolutely. I guess I handled the question while I was doing this pretty well. And then once the cocktail is done, I'm going to be bold and go with both the cayenne pepper and the cinnamon stick, just a little on top, and cinnamon stick. Stir it. If you're having guests, which let me guess, you're not, this would be a great thing to have on a tray when everyone arrives, so we can dream for 2021, right? But yeah, and to make this cocktail a mocktail, obviously we can leave out the bourbon. You can substitute apple juice for apple cider. You can also add some sparkling water. I like to use this cranberry flavored sparkling water can be added, but it's really as simple as leaving out the alcohol and, if you want, substituting it with something else. So that is my holiday cocktail / mocktail. And are there any questions?
I have a question. Could you use like sparkling apple cider or some of those like non-alcoholic? We use them as New Year's beverages, but like there's cranberry cider.
You can. You just want to be careful with the shaker. If you add anything that's carbonated, you might be shaking into an explosion. So I would say shake your drink up and then add that and stir it and then add it to your glass.
That's it as far as questions that have come in.
All right, well, I have to taste it, so. It's really good. I used to make this before. I knew it was really good. I just wanted to have a taste.
Well, Amanda, since we don't have any questions, I just want to thank you so much for making time and busting through that concussion to make this wonderful drink with us. I know I'm going to try it. I don't drink alcohol myself, so I'm going to try it with the sparkling cider, but I'm excited. And maybe we can Zoom and toast each other for the new year.
Oh, I would love that. Well, thank you for having me, and it's great to be here. And I really appreciate everything you guys do, and the audience. Thank you for tuning in.
And now I guess I'll pass it back to Marissa, who has a couple of last minute items for you.
Yes, thank you, Maureen. And thank you, Amanda and Audrey. We hope everyone is relaxed and equipped to celebrate the holidays in a healthy way. If you're interested in more yoga, Audrey is leading an adaptive yoga webinar this Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Then in the new year, our sports team is hosting regularly scheduled adaptive yoga and nutrition webinars taught by Audrey. And the links to sign up are on the slide you see here. In April, we are holding the Women Veterans Empowerment Retreat in Tempe, Arizona for women veterans with disabilities. Registration is open, so you can register with the link here. The PVA offices will be closed over the holidays, but members can still reach a staff person by calling 800-424-8400. And as I said earlier, this webinar was recorded and you'll receive a link to watch it again, as well as the recipes. Finally, we'd love to hear your feedback, so please be sure to complete our survey. It'll pop up when you close out of the Zoom. Thank you everyone for attending. Happy holidays.